Introduction. This is a brand new product, just revealed by Mark Zuckerberg and Meta. It's a pair of fully holographic augmented reality glasses they call Orion. In October 2024, Tesla brought us all one step closer to the cyberpunk universe of Blade Runner with their We Robot event. Mark's belief is that products like Orion, the Meta Quest, and the Apple Vision Pro will become the next major computing platform, an evolution beyond the smartphone. A tech giant creating machines that blur the line between human and robot, more human than human. That was the promise of the fictional Tyrell Corporation, a company that built artificial people, replicants, to exist alongside the rest of us, blurring the line between machine and man. And Zuck may be correct in his prediction, but let's be real here for a second. Does anyone actually want to wear this thing on their face all day long? They weren't just laborers. They were companions, caregivers, builders, performers, whatever their owners needed them to be. Not quite human, but close enough to make the distinction uncomfortable. Sure, your weird glasses can augment reality. That's cool and all. But let's talk about how we can alter reality, break it, if you will. Now, Tesla is building its own replicants, not in fiction, but in factories. Optimus is real, and it is being prepared for deployment inside Tesla's own production lines, where it will soon begin moving materials and performing monotonous, repetitive tasks. And that's a project that Elon Musk has been working on for the past 8 years. But body. Of course, we are talking about Neuralink. If augmented reality is the next evolution of the computer, then Neuralink is the final form. The Omega, if you want to keep the ancient Greek references going. The company's real-world AI is advancing exponentially, and the clearest proof of that is in full self-driving. For years, skeptics dismissed FSD as a fantasy, but now Tesla's autonomous fleet is driving billions of miles, improving with every journey. Every time an FSD-enabled Tesla encounters an unexpected situation, road construction, a sudden detour, an aggressive driver, it doesn't just adjust, it learns. And that knowledge is shared across the fleet, making every other Tesla vehicle smarter overnight. While Zuckerberg was out flaunting his new glasses, Neuralink was busy securing approval for a new implant that will pipe computer vision directly into a person's brain. Blind sight was just classified by the Food and Drug Administration as a breakthrough device. This essentially means that it's been fast-tracked through the development and review process in order to get this device into human patients as fast as possible. The system is advancing so rapidly that at Tesla's 2024 earnings call, Musk made an announcement. Tesla will launch fully unsupervised robo-taxis in the city of Austin by June this year. No human in the driver's seat, no test mode, just autonomous vehicles operating in the real world. During that earnings call, Musk brought up a classic fable he's mentioned before. I know people have said Elon is the boy who cried wolf several times, but I'm telling you there's a damn wolf this time, and you can drive it. Elon Musk has said the blind sight device from Neuralink will enable even those who have lost both eyes and their optic nerve to see. It will even enable those who have been blind from birth to see for the first time. To accomplish this, Neuralink will replace human eyes with small digital cameras, much like those that Meta is using in their augmented reality glasses. But the difference comes in when Neuralink cuts a hole in the person's skull and sews a few dozen tiny wires into their brain. You won't find that on the Meta product roadmap, and the same AI system that allows Tesla's cars to drive themselves will soon power Optimus. If your last experience with FSD was a year or two ago, Musk said, that's like meeting someone when they're a toddler and thinking they're going to be a toddler forever. Now Optimus is still young, but it won't stay that way for long. What Neuralink is doing here is creating a wired connection directly into the visual cortex of the brain, which spans both the left and right hemispheres. So really, there will need to be two holes in the person's head. The process here is not so different from Facebook's glasses, where miniature projectors take digital code, convert it to electrical light energy, and overlay it on the lens as visual information. But Neuralink will take digital information from the camera, convert that into an electrical signal, and transmit it directly into the brain, stimulating it into displaying that camera feed into the patient's field of view. Optimus isn't just another industrial robot. It is the first machine designed to replace human labor on a massive scale. During Tesla's latest earnings call, Musk laid out his most aggressive timeline yet. In 2025, 10,000 units will be deployed inside Tesla's own factories. By 2026, Optimus will be sold to outside companies. And starting sometime in 2027, Musk plans to ramp up mass production, with the goal to eventually build millions, even billions, of humanoid robots. As Musk explained, it doesn't take very many years before we're making 100 million of these things a year. But we have to remember that our entire experience of the world is provided to us by input devices. The eyes, ears, fingers, tongue, they're all just a big network of sensors that pipe electrical signals into the semi-solid biological computer that sits inside your skull. That's you. A gray, wrinkly lump plugged into a meat suit. And that's existentially a little bit terrifying. But we can either let that keep us up at night or use our knowledge of science and biology to exploit the system, to hack the human experience and break reality as we know it. If Tesla succeeds, this won't be just another step in automation. It will be a fundamental change in our own reality. What happens when a machine can do everything a human can do, but better, faster, and without pay? This is where some long-standing pillars of society begin to break down. Musk himself has hinted at the economic implications. At 1 million units per year, the cost to manufacture an Optimus is expected to drop below $20,000. But cost and price aren't the same thing. The price of Optimus will be set by the market, Musk said. And that's the question that will define our next decade. Who controls the robots and who benefits? This is something that Meta cannot do. In an interview with Cleo Abrams, Zuckerberg admitted that haptic feedback is not possible with augmented reality. The glasses can show you any experience, but they can't help you feel it. Zuck also relented that smell is a critical component of an immersive experience, but it would be an incredibly difficult challenge to bring to augmented reality. I'd even argue that these aspects are just straight up impossible to ever deliver with a wearable device. But with a brain-computer interface, on the other hand, there is no theoretical end to the possibilities. Science fiction has warned us about AI taking over for centuries. Technology has replaced human labor, but always in narrow ways. The steam engine replaced horses, the assembly line replaced artisans, computers replaced clerks. But Optimus is different. This isn't about automating one task, it's about automating all tasks. A machine that can clean, cook, carry, repair, build, and assist isn't just a tool, it's a worker. And when it arrives by the millions, it will challenge the most fundamental concept of modern civilization: work. Now, let's take another quick reality break here. As fun as it is to harp on Zuck, although gotta admit, his new haircut is a massive improvement towards looking like a real boy, easily the best decision he's made since the whole Facebook thing. These Orion glasses are definitely one of the most insane products we've seen in a long time. They are very impressive, and they do exist in the real world, even if they also make you look like a dweeb. If robots can do everything, what do people do? Musk has said, the future is going to be incredibly different from the past, that's for sure. But are we heading toward a dystopian nightmare or our utopian dreams? That moment has not arrived yet. Humanity still holds the wheel, for now. But if Tesla's plan succeeds, it will no longer be our decision to make. And that change might be coming sooner than anyone expects. And I'm not exactly doubting Zuck's prediction that this kind of wearable augmented reality AI interface technology could overtake the smartphone as our mobile computing system of choice. That could happen within the next 10 years. So Meta has a very powerful head start. They have time on their side. To understand just how we got to this moment, we have to look back at the origins of Optimus, at Tesla's obsession with AI and robotics, and at the long road that led us to the age of humanoid machines. Tesla isn't just a car company, it never was. For years, they were building something much bigger, something most people missed. Because while the world was watching Tesla's self-driving cars, Tesla was actually building robots. It began with a car, not just any car, but a car that could see. In 2014, Tesla rolled out Autopilot 1. It could keep you in your lane, adjust speed, and avoid collisions. It was futuristic, impressive, and dumb. Autopilot 1.0 didn't understand why it was doing anything. It just followed orders. On the other hand, what Neuralink is doing with blind sight is still pretty far from being anything that will make for an impressive tech demo. Even Elon has admitted this himself, and when Elon Musk is not being ludicrously optimistic about one of his own products, you know that this is real. To set expectations correctly, the vision will be at first low resolution, like Atari graphics. But eventually, it has the potential to be better than natural vision and enable you to see in infrared, ultraviolet, or even radar wavelengths, like Geordie LaForge. And any kid who ever strapped a headband to their face and pretended to be Geordie knows how cool that would be. But Tesla needed real intelligence. In 2016, they launched Autopilot 2.0, more cameras, more data. But it still wasn't learning. So in 2019, Tesla built its own AI chip, a neural processor designed to process real-world data in real time. This was Autopilot 3.0, the moment Tesla stopped being just a car company and became an AI company. Tesla's I wasn't just reacting anymore, it was predicting. Then, in 2021, Tesla made its boldest move yet. They killed radar. No more sensors, no more crutches, just cameras. Critics called it reckless. Tesla called it Tesla Vision, a car that saw and responded the way humans did. This was the moment Tesla's AI truly became something different. No longer a set of programmed rules, but an intelligence that learned from experience. 400,000 Teslas running FSD beta, billions of miles of real-world driving data, and a new supercomputer, Dojo, designed to process it all faster than any system in history. For years, self-driving software was just that, software. Engineers wrote the code, updated the system, tested it, and repeated the process. Then, in 2023, Tesla stopped writing the code altogether. FSD Beta 12 changed everything. It's also important to remember that the Meta glasses are a toy, an incredibly expensive and innovative toy. While blind sight is, first and foremost, a medical device. I couldn't help but notice this reply under Elon's post by my fellow space YouTuber, the GOAT, Mr. Marcus House. He wrote, "This is my dream with my legally blind son. I'd give anything to allow him to see clearly for the first time. Thanks to everyone involved in this project. A bright future hopefully awaits for all those out there with low or no vision." That's what actually matters. Tesla wasn't just programming self-driving cars, they were teaching AI how to think. For the first time, the AI trained itself. It wasn't following instructions, it was learning from real-world experience. FSD Beta 13 pushed even further. Tesla's I wasn't just reacting, it was anticipating, adapting, improving on its own. This was no longer just a self-driving system, it was something else. And if Tesla can train AI to drive, why? Why can't they train it to walk? On August 19, 2021, Tesla AI Day, Elon Musk walked on stage and announced Tesla's next product. Not a car, not a battery, a robot. At first, people laughed. Tesla even brought out a human dancer in a bodysuit to pretend to be a robot. Then Musk said something that made them stop. If you think about what we're doing with cars, Tesla is arguably already the biggest robotics company. And suddenly, it made sense. Tesla's cars weren't just cars anymore. They were robots on wheels. Now, Tesla was putting that robot brain inside a humanoid body. And hopefully, that's what Neuralink can deliver for those people who need it. But if we wanted to shift gears back into optimistic mode, if dweeb glasses are the next big tech thing of the 2030s, then maybe we are looking at Neuralink as the next big thing. a technological revolution for the 2040s. Because realistically, it's going to be hard enough to convince average people to wear these damn glasses on a daily basis. Imagine then selling the masses on two new holes in their head. My expectation is that after a decade of wearing the glasses, brain surgery will sound like a merciful relief, as long as you get to take the damn things off. At first, Optimus was just an idea. But then, in late 2022, Tesla's first real prototype stood up and moved. By early 2023, it was walking. By mid-year, it could grip objects, balance, and sort materials. Then, in December 2023, Tesla unveiled Optimus Gen 2, lighter, faster, more human-like. It could pick up an egg without breaking it. Then, in 2024, Optimus started working in Tesla's factories, loading parts, carrying materials, all while learning and observing. Throughout the process, Tesla didn't set out to build humanoid robots, but they built an AI that could see. Then, they taught it to understand. Then, to drive. Then, to train itself. And now, it can move like a human. And now that AI can walk, build, and think, what happens next? Neuralink is also a more sustainable option in the long term. By that I mean there is definitely a hard physical limitation on how small you can make this stuff. And I think we're already pretty close to hitting that wall. Smaller is great, but it usually means more expensive and more fragile as well. As someone who has spent a considerable amount of time wearing glasses, I know how easy it is to just accidentally damage or misplace a pair. Anyone who's ever sat on their frames, I'm trying to fathom what weather and temperature will do to these over years of ownership. At least you can put a phone in your pocket. You can't just put glasses in your pocket when you aren't using them. What are we all going to do? Walk around with glasses hanging on neck straps like a bunch of librarians? Not that there's anything wrong with being a librarian, but you know what I mean. For centuries, work wasn't just what people did. It was who we were. Farmers, builders, shopkeepers, drivers. The kind of work changed, but the rules stayed the same. You don't work, you don't eat. Tesla is about to break that rule. If Elon Musk is right, 100 million humanoid robots could be rolling off production lines every year. Machines that can build, clean, cook, repair, and even replace entire industries overnight. This isn't automation like anything we've seen before. It's not a steam engine, a factory robot, or a self-checkout machine. This is the replacement of human labor itself. Every automation revolution has followed a pattern. Some jobs disappear, but new ones emerge. Factories wiped out blacksmiths, but created industrial workers. Computers killed typewriters, but made software engineers. What happens when there's no new job left to fill? With Neuralink, the biggest investment is the surgery. But it's an automated surgery done by a robot. So it won't be cheap, but it shouldn't be outrageously expensive either. And once you've done it, the only thing you would ever want to upgrade would be the chip and the battery cell. They can just pop that out and pop a new one in. That's already been done with monkeys, although they do have to cut your skin flap, peel that back first, then sew it back down afterwards, so you probably want to keep the upgrade cycles to a minimum. But it is an option. And the upside is that you can use this device anywhere, at any time, without anyone knowing that you have one. Right now, robots do specific jobs. An industrial arm welds, a Roomba vacuums, a chatbot answers basic questions. But Optimus isn't like that. It's not just one tool, it's every tool. Musk claims Optimus will cost less than $20,000 to produce. A single robot at that price could replace a human worker permanently for less than a year's salary. And when businesses realize this, why hire people at all? At first, it'll be predictable. Warehouses, factories, logistics. But then the floodgates open. Retail clerks, gone. Hotel staff, automated. Construction crews, smaller, faster, cheaper. And then nurses, assistants, drivers, mechanics. The cost of human labor collapses. But so does everything built around it. If work disappears, what happens next? In theory, you could use the link to interface with any other device or technology. Everything would go straight from the computer to your brain, and from your brain to the computer. And if things keep going the way they are right now, there's not going to be a computer in the world that isn't running on some class of artificial intelligence. Elon Musk has envisioned this AI interface working like a third layer of functionality in the human control center. The primary layer is your limbic system. This is your base-level behavioral instincts: food, sex, fight or flight responses, caring for babies. All of those deep-seated behaviors that are universal among pretty much every living thing on the planet. Primal stuff. The secondary layer is your cerebral cortex, that wrinkly outer layer of your brain that works like a CPU. Your consciousness, thought, emotion, reasoning, language, and memory all originate in this gray matter. Sometimes your limbic system overrides your conscious thought. Most times, it's the other way around. The give and take keeps us alive and functional. And then the third layer, or your tertiary layer, is artificial intelligence. Enter universal basic income. Here's the idea. If robots take the jobs, people still need money, so they get a monthly stipend provided for them. No strings attached. It's actually not some radical fringe concept either. In 1970, Richard Nixon almost passed a version of it in Congress. In 2019, Andrew Yang ran for president on it. Jack Dorsey, Mark Zuckerberg, even Jeff Bezos have hinted that automation may force UBI into reality, because if there are no jobs left to earn wages, the entire system breaks down. Mortgages, health insurance, retirement savings, everything collapses. When work is no longer a path to survival, the alternative is mass homelessness, deepening economic divides, and a labor force with nothing left to offer but desperation. So, how do we get to a place where everyone is provided a basic income to meet their daily needs? And what happens to society without the human drive to survive? Who pays for it? The government, corporations. Does a Tesla-optimized economy mean that its growing fortunes are taxed at a high rate, enough to support the rest of the nation? And if corporations don't want to share, what happens when people with nothing left to lose start demanding it? Elon thinks that there is room for optimism, that this can all work out. Given that the cortex is very intelligent but the limbic system is not, yet they work together in harmony, perhaps there could be a tertiary layer where a digital superintelligence lies, one that would be vastly more intelligent than the cortex, but still able to coexist peacefully with both the cortex and the limbic system. And at that point, what is real? The real question isn't whether robots will replace human labor. That's inevitable. The real question is, who controls them? Because someone will own the robots. And that means someone will own the workforce. In one future, robots will serve everyone. They provide abundance, food, shelter, medical care, all without the need for traditional jobs. In another future, robots belong to the few. They work, generate wealth, and concentrate power in a handful of corporations that control the entire labor force. A world where the rich own the means of production, and the rest of society owns nothing. If you can have a fully immersive sensory experience in virtual reality, one that you can taste, touch, smell, and feel, would that really be any different than something that happened in the real world? In today's economy, the wealthy own capital, and the poor sell their time. In a world where machines do all the work, what happens to the people with nothing left to sell? Science fiction imagined robots rising up against their creators. But what if they don't need to? What if they simply replace us, quietly, efficiently, and completely? A machine that can mend a beating heart. A machine that can write its own code. A machine that will soon step into the world and never step back. Is that already what we are experiencing right now? We just haven't fully realized it yet. In Blade Runner, replicants weren't just workers. They were builders, caretakers, performers, an artificial labor force that blurred the line between machine and man. Optimus won't demand freedom. It won't stage an uprising. but it won't have to. The most disruptive technologies don't overthrow the world, they reshape it so completely that the old world simply fades away. A world where Optimus succeeds is one where work as we know it ceases to be a necessity. That could be the beginning of something truly remarkable, a future where survival isn't tied to labor, where people are free to create, explore, and invent in ways never before possible. Or it could be the start of something else entirely. A society where wealth and control concentrate in the hands of those who own the machines, while the rest watch the future unfold from the sidelines. Do you feel your own reality beginning to crumble and break just thinking about this stuff? Remember, you're not actually a human being. You're a gray, wrinkled lump of bioelectric tissue plugged into a meat suit. Or you could just buy Zuckerberg's dorky glasses and be perfectly happy. That's cool too. One way or another, the shift has already begun. Not with a bang, not with a war, but with a quiet trade, a slow, seamless handoff, from human to machine. And by the time we recognize what we've built, we may find ourselves living in a world that no longer needs us, or one where we've never been freer.